MeesterJosh in my games. That's me. How we doing? This one is a different video with a similar format we're doing here. So you see right here, I got my tier list on the screen here. And I got my videos. So I'm not doing a glazing thing, but I'm doing a year in review type of situation. I decided do some sort of retrospective in a sense on my games. Now I started doing these, my first video was Minish Cap, uploaded in around June, I want to say, off the top of my head, end of June. And these are like the main style of videos I do, review type. That's the one I'm trying to focus on the most, where I really go in depth on the games I talk about. So, in a sense, I'm just going to be ranking them in an all-encompassing list that is slowly going to add on. So next year, in 2025, I will include all the games I did that year, tack it on to the already existing list of this year, so on and so forth. I think I'm going to do that. Just slowly rank all the games. So this is not how I think the videos are or anything. I'm just using my thumbnails as showing which games I'm considering on my list. Once again, not my things like when I talk about a first impression or a tier list. I want to talk about this type of video. So all the ones you see right here. So we're going to get into it real quick. This probably won't be super long since we have a very small amount, only 12 of these games right here to go for. And I want to make this as try to be as honest. And the thing I want to know is here, it's going to be a little weird for the first year, but I'm going to fill things out as much as I can, and I'll also change things. I might put stuff in A or S for now, just because I only have 12 games to base it off of, and then move it around when I get more games. So let's start off. I think we'll just go in order of the games I did, which being the first one was Minish Cap. So Minish Cap. Is there a reason I did Minish Cap as my first Zelda video? Not really. I just picked the game, started recording and streaming, and decided that I'll just work on this one. Overall, I like the game. It is not my favorite Zelda game, and going through this made me realize that I wasn't a big of... I think I had more fond memories as a kid, and then when I replayed it, I just didn't care for it as much. Honestly, a lot of my thought processes when I was playing this game was, ooh, you know what? He's like, you know what? I think I like the Oracle games better, and there's so much I wanted to play in the Oracle games that I pretty much went right into playing the Oracle games very quickly after Minish Cap. And honestly, I think C is a pretty alright location for it right now. It's a very solid game, and yes, I know. I'm gonna be honest here. People on tier lists are a little much. I'm gonna be real. So let me just explain here. S is the best games in my opinion. You can't dethrone these games. F would be pretty unplayable. C is just being a perfectly serviceable game. I know some people will see C or hell even D and be like, oh, that's shit, utter garbage. Not the case here. It is games that I think are fine. This is like I have some issues with, but overall I liked it. I would say E and F are the only two categories where I say, nah. So, just let's get that out there first off. Yeah, I think it's a very solid game. In terms of the 2D Zelda games, I prefer a lot more other ones better. Yeah, I think that's kind of where I want to go with that. So, we're gonna move on here. Next is Game & Watch Gallery. I have a love for the Game & Watch series, and I wanted to cover them. Being a compilation game, honestly, this one was kind of a... I might put this one in D. Why? Because I think this is kind of overall the weakest of probably all the Game & Watch compilations. But I like it overall. And that's kind of what I mean. D is fine. But, you know, I kind of go either or. I don't really see myself to go back and play this one specifically. There's other Game & Watches the galleries I would rather just play. And that's the big thing. I did it for this video mainly, and really won't have much of a reason to go back. Something like Zelda, Minish Cap, I'll probably have a hankering to go play that game sometime in the future. So yeah, that's really it. Game & Watch though, good stuff. I will hopefully get more Game & Watches soon enough. Next up, Pokemon Snap. Pokemon Snap, I have a special place in my heart. I think it's like a B. It's a nostalgic game for me, very much so. And I like it. I've said it in the past, and I said it in my review too, is that it is such a perfect game to replay because it is a 2-hour game. And that's the perfect thing for it. New Pokemon Snap, way too long. If I ever get to that, I'll have more criticism of it. You can say it's probably arguably a better constructed game. But that is one of the things I just didn't care for. It's just, I felt like it dragged on too much. Just could have done without it. But no, Pokemon Snap the original. Oh, I love it. I'll play it all the time. And it's just it's a fun game, and it's an amazing spin-off, an amazing Pokemon spin-off. It felt full of life, full of fun, even while just being a pretty simple, basic game, all things considered. It sucks it took so long to actually just see a sequel, but I'm still happy with it, and it is a standout N64 game for me, so that's why I wanted to play it. Now this is like the first real game I had memories with too, so it's actually one of my weaker videos in terms of performance wise, and also I kind of wish I talked a little bit more about the game in general. I kind of just glossed over some things, but it's what it is. I said I wasn't going to retrospect it, but hell, if I have something I want to say, I'll say it then. If I have an amendment to make sense of my review. And this one's one of my earliest ones, so as we're going in order here. So, alright, next one, I believe, is going to be the Oracle games now. So, Oracle of Seasons and Ages, I did back-to-back. As I said, I played them right after here, and as I also could tell, I liked them a lot more. Oracle of Ages is my preferred one. If you heard my review, I prefer Ages a lot more. There's a lot more things that I think are better made. Season's still a fantastic game, and I like these better than Minish Cap, as we were you could probably deduce. So I'm gonna put it in here, and you know, I think Ages is it's a fantastic one-of-a-kind type of game for Zelda that I don't know. I really want a style back in these. It's simple, but very fun. And it had some very complex puzzles for its time. Maybe it's a lot easier now since I've played the game a few times, but I don't know. These two games are so incredibly replayable for me. They're some of the games I've replayed the most in terms of the Zelda games, so I don't know. I gravitate towards them a lot, and being Game Boy Color games are just fantastically well made. Please get to remaking them. Thank you, Nintendo. And Grezzo, probably, because it probably will be you anytime in the near future. Yes. Alright, Castlevania. Wait, no, is Castlevania next? I'm trying to do this. Okay, yes, thank you. I did it. I'll probably cut a little bit of that. Yeah, so I had to remember which was first. Yes, it is Castlevania Circle of the Moon. Circle of the Moon. I'm probably putting D2. No, I'll put C. I overlike it. It's definitely one of the weaker Castlevania games I played. I think I said it as well. A lot of cool ideas, but I was not a fan of that movement system. Even at the end when the movement system was there, kind of all in tow with all the abilities, I couldn't get past some of it, and that was a problem for me. Overall, it's solid though. I'm glad I played it through. I think the story was cool. Could have gotten some more work. I think some of its coolest things was just the customizability with the card system, and just like the overall design of the game. It's a nice design. But as I said, weaker Castlevania games. It's definitely, you could tell it wasn't a game that Iga made. So when I was researching that, it wasn't super shocking to me. So yeah, Final Fantasy 1. All right, basing this off of this, I'll put it at lower B. Maybe. No. I don't know. I've replayed Final Fantasy 1 so many times. Lower B or high C. I go back and forth. So obviously it would be basing this off of like the Pixel Remaster or even Dawn of Souls. I enjoy those games quite a bit. I'll do Bottom B, because I think Final Fantasy 1 is a very good game, very fun replayable game, especially with the newest releases. I just yeah, I don't know. If you played the original, I'm sure like the NES version probably wouldn't hit the same. So yeah, that's kind of where I gotta see with that. It's just, you know, I said a lot about it. It's a classic start to the entire series, and it means a lot to me, and I think this and a lot of people. It's a classic for a reason, and if you haven't played it, I really think you should. It's a really good game. It's not too long. The original is very short, so no, it's good. And we'll see what happens when we cover the rest of the Final Fantasy series, but it's a start. It's a start. Okay, next is Sonic Adventure DX. So Sonic Adventure was a once again nostalgic game for me, and I like it a lot for some parts. Other parts I didn't like it a lot, and I'm gonna put it at a high C. So my brain probably thought like maybe high B. When I played it finally, I was like, you know what? I like the Sonic stages. I like the Knuckles and Tails, I guess, and of course Gamma. It's just overall the game package just kind of felt to me. Chao Garden I really couldn't get into again. I think there were some things that just lacked there, and I think a lot of it was nostalgia, but I do appreciate that I'm able to sometimes look past that for games. Sometimes. And I think a lot of my memories will either be similar with Sonic Adventure 2 or a lot better. Maybe them merging the two together. That could be very possible. I think Chao Garden was one of those where a lot of my memories just kind of intertwined together. Still a very good game, and I like this game. I had a lot of fun with this streaming. I think a lot of my streams, I felt like I was just having fun. So if I want to think about it that way, but a lot of fun making this video too. I genuinely did. That's all I really got with that one too. It's a solid adventure though. Once again, I liked it, but I had some glaring issues I just couldn't simply overlook. So, all right, next up is Luigi's Mansion, and I think this is gonna go in the S tier. I think I want to put one in the S tier, and this is probably my favorite game out of all of these so far. Luigi's Mansion is a fantastic game, similar to Pokemon Snap in terms of like why I like to replay it and why I think it's perfect the way its length is. The boss goes alright. I've had 2 videos on it now because I did the boss, my first like countdown-esque video where I like went through the bosses from worst to best. The Portrait Ghost, I guess, it's such a unique style. It is a GameCube standout for me, and I will love this game forever. I will play it all the time. I played through Luigi's Mansion 2 and 3 once each. This one I played like 4, 5 times. I love this game. It is fantastic. If you haven't played Luigi's Mansion, it can be done in a day. And you can still find time to do something else if you hated it that much. Like I said, my only biggest critique with the game, a few of the Portrait Ghosts were kind of but like whatever. That's a boss. Like I'm not gonna knock a game for having 1 or 2 poor like fights or designs. And then I really wasn't a big fan of the boos going back into this game, like especially the end game boos mainly, like the high HP. I could have done without it as much, but once again, I guess that is technically 100%ing it is optional. So there is that too. But I think in terms of just not obviously these aren't perfect games. I'm not trying to say Luigi's Mansion is a 10 out of 10 or something like that. It's just this is a completely biased Josh opinion list. And that's why I put Luigi's Mansion. Alright, Dragon Quest 1 and Dragon Quest 2. I think Dragon Quest 1, I'm gonna put like here. Dragon Quest 2, I'll put like here. I put them back to back, getting ready for Dragon Quest. So this is one that I could see myself changing to, because as I said in my reviews, I played the most recent versions of these technically at this time of recording, which are the Switch and mobile-esque ports. The mobile ports went to Switch. They don't look great. They don't really play. They play all right. I mean, they're fine. They're functional. They're great in that regard. But hell, what I've played of Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D already, I think I could bump these up. And that's going to be tough to try to grade these in that sense. But, yeah. So going over in this specifically here, Dragon Quest 1, as I said, it was a good game. It's a good start. Final Fantasy 1 is a lot more player-friendly. Dragon Quest 1 isn't a big, is big family-friendly. I still think a lot of people should play this one. I think it's a good game. But I think you have to be an RPG fan more to like it than anything. Well, it's Final Fantasy. I'd say Final Fantasy, yeah, too. But like, this is like a Final Fantasy 1 would be like I like RPGs, and then Dragon Quest 1 would be like I love RPGs. You know, it's like a couple tiers higher in terms of like the entry level. Once the games I usually play with a guide, because hell, I've played Dragon Quest 1 3 times now. And it's just like, I don't remember all the things, because it's just a bunch of like kind of, the story beats are just kind of back and forth. I don't know. It's a lot of, clearly was an older game that was supposed to be cryptic at certain points, or just really focused on taking notes, stuff like that. So, what was that? Dragon Quest 2, I think I prefer the 1, as I said in my video, I believe as well. It did some improvements and did a lot of mainstays, but overall the game is like triple the length, and that was one good thing about the game. It is like a 3-hour game. Dragon Quest 1 was like a 3 or 4 hour game. Like Dragon Quest 2 was like almost at least like 10 to 12, something like that range. That's kind of it is a lot more. Some things are worse. I don't like the dungeon design into as much. I think a lot of places are just some of the difficulty spikes are a little egregious. Like the end game is just a lot of grinding. Once again, without a guide giving me some of the best equipment and items, I might have struggled even more. So there's that. The characters, there's only 3 of them. Isn't that balanced? It's like almost like I prefer the back and forth of 1. Or if you had 3 characters, Dragon Quest 1, that might even bump it up a lot too. But you know, they weren't made equal, which sucks because you only have 3 of them, and they're set like predestined classes. So overall, it is an okay game, but it's definitely one of the weakest Dragon Quest entries. Especially even 1 is on the weaker side, which is good because that means the series kept growing and evolving. So yeah, yeah, that's where I'm gonna stand with that. Still okay games. None of these I would consider terrible games. The only one I would probably consider to be not a great game is going to be Game Boy Camera. And even then, I'm going to put it in E. There is novelty with this game. There is something to be had, but it is, as I kind of stated at the end, there isn't really a reason to play this game. The mini games are kind of just... The mini games are there. It's like, oh, you could play Game and Watch Ball, but with a picture. Like, my camera didn't work, as I said in the video. I said like 20 times in the not even 10-minute video. It's fun, it's cool, it's niche, but like, once again, I could recommend most of these games to people. Like, once again, you're not going to play this unless you are like a Nintendo enthusiast. You like Nintendo games. You like niche Nintendo accessories. You're not doing this. Like, I know about the Nintendo Game Boy Camera for a long time, years, but I never actually played it or used it until this video. So that's kind of part of it. It's like, yeah, I just wanted to see it firsthand, maybe talk about it a little bit since I was already grabbing my hands on it. I got the copy. Camera didn't work. I got the emulator, stuff like that. So overall, it's actually a very unintentionally balanced list overall, but nothing I would say is bad. Once again, this could change throughout my course, and I will obviously make this grow a little bit more. Just using a single tier list, single use, so I'm not going to link the description down here, but this is just a style I want to try. Maybe I'll tweak it next year a little bit, but just a year in review, and I will probably start next year with these games in the similar position, maybe talk about any amendments I want to immediately make, and then talk with my next games. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what your favorite video was, or just what your favorite game. You don't have to, like I said, I'm not trying to say like, oh, watch all my videos, but like, hey, which is your favorite game on this list out of all these? Which one would you have to say is your favorite? And it's kind of where I'm doing it, and I just want to compile what is my favorite game, what are some of my favorite games, I guess you could see. It's like almost like a little, I want to slowly reveal which games I love. And some of these are fresh experiences for me, like Game Boy Camera, technically, Castlevania, Circle of the Moon. Those are two games, I think the only two games here that I've made a review on that I've never really played prior to this. So, once again, let me know what you guys think. And yeah, this will be the last video of the year. Stay tuned. I got a lot of stuff already in the works for next year. Thank you to the people who have just supported and subscribed so far, liked, comments, did whatever you guys need to do. So I appreciate every one of you, even if it's a humble group. So check it out. Check out my Twitch stuff. Check out my social media stuff. I have the collab channel, Tom Foolers. Just check all that stuff out, guys. Appreciate it. Have a good holiday season. This will probably come out, so have a good holiday season. Spend time with family, friends, loved ones. Just get some quality you time in. Take care of yourself, and have a good one. See ya in the new year. I'll still be streaming, but still, see ya this side. See ya in 2025. Peace out.